I know it would be times that I would come home and I would see blood coming through the shirt.
Okay.
And I remember one time talking to you, taking your shirt off and taking you to the church and letting the pastor see your back.
Uh-huh.
He had beat you like you was a slave.
Because when you said about the apology, what did I say to you?
You owe me no apology.
Okay, why would I say something like that if I was abused and traumatized and neglected?
You said that if you knew better, people say if you know better, if you do better, you'll do better.
Uh-huh.
And I only did what I knew.
Right.
And I thought I was doing the best that I could at that time for you.
All right, what up, y'all? It's the Street Priest, Mr. Kill Trauma, and I am here with my mama. Let me say it again. I am here with my mama. It's the Street Priest, Mr. Kill Trauma. And today I'm sitting here with my mother, my biological mother, a mother like none other, raised me into what they say is an incredible young man that have done great things. There's a nickname. We'll start with that. There's a nickname that you gave me a long time ago. What was the nickname you gave me?
Shiny Dukes.
Shiny Dukes? Okay, yeah. But what did you used to call me when I got a little older? You called me your what?
Genius.
Genius. So some people, if y'all don't believe in me, there are some people out here who believe in me. And if your mama don't believe in you, then you was a dirty scoundrel, rascal. But I'm gonna get into today's topic, today's conversation. So, my mother, Elizabeth, known as Sister Liz. Some folks know you as Tuda. When I was younger, I hear some folks calling you Linda. You got a whole bunch of names. Now
Right.
you were just asking me about a name. Because there was a reason why we're doing this interview, because you called me, and maybe you can tell the people about the conversation that we had a couple of days ago when you called and reached out to me. There were some things that you wanted to say to me. What was that?
Well, I want to call and apologize to you for your upbringing,
Okay.
and you had some pretty traumatic things happen in your life that I didn't even know about.
Uh-huh.
And I knew about some of them, but then as I read your book, I seen more and more. Like it says, many colors of Estop.
Okay.
It was like I said, what I say, many sides. There's so much to you,
Uh-huh.
and I never knew all that was to you, and I understand you more now that I read your book.
Okay, so even as my mother, there were some things about me that you didn't understand, and you've been with me forever. It wasn't like you was an absentee parent. It wasn't like you abandoned me. It's not like you was out living your life. We was in the same household until I ran away. We ain't gonna talk about that today, but it was a time when I ran away and got my own place before I was 18, and I guess I was grown. I'm thinking I was grown at the time.
Right.
But yeah, it was some things that you didn't know. So what was those things that was brought to you from the reading of the book? Because I feel like you're not the only person. There's a lot of people that don't know the real me. And maybe this conversation will be able to help them learn more of who I am.
The abuse that you had took off your stepfather.
Okay.
I never knew that.
Okay.
I know it would be times that I would come home and you would have you have the white T.O. and I would see blood coming through the shirt.
Okay.
And I remember one time talking to you, taking your shirt off and taking you to the church and letting the pastor see your back.
Uh-huh.
He had beat you like you was a slave.
Okay.
And so that hurt my heart so bad at that time. So I know where else to go. So I went to the pastor.
Right.
What do we do about this? What do we do about this? And he just said, well, he ain't gonna kill him.
Right.
So
I talked about that in the book. I talked about that in the book. I talked a little bit about organized religion.
Right.
I talked a little bit about people as we grow in life. We don't always know the answers, and when people look into us, we kind of giving them the best answer, the best solution.
Right.
You know what we know. Because as I was thinking about us talking, I was thinking about a lot of times you used to say, "Boy, if my daddy was here, he would have knocked you through the wall. If my daddy was here, he would have threw you out the window. If my daddy was here, he would have knocked your teeth into the back of your throat." Those were some things that you experienced or you seen, you witnessed in parenting. So you would think that you was doing a pretty good job because you wasn't going to that extent.
Right.
But it was a constant reminder of, what the upbringing was, and maybe showing the mercy and grace that you were given to me, but that same grace wasn't given, from what you said you read about in the book. So what do you want to elaborate about what you read, or what questions would you like me to answer according to what you read? Maybe that'd be a good way. Let me say this, because when you said about the apology, what did I say to you?
You owe me no apology.
Okay, why would I say something like that if I was abused and traumatized and neglected?
You said if you knew better, people say if you know better, if you do better, you'll do better. And I only did what I knew.
Right.
And I thought I was doing the best that I could at that time for you.
Okay, I'm sorry.
As you was growing up, I always try to show you I try to give you all the love I had. And I wanted you to know how much I loved you. And I always try to give you best. All I could do was give you love.
Right.
That's what I thought. I thought I could give you. All I could give you was my love.
Right.
And I do believe I did that.
And why did you want to give me your love so much? Why do you think I needed additional love in my life?
Well, because for one thing, you lost your father at a you were 6 months old when you lost your father.
Okay.
And I knew
that was traumatizing.
I knew that when you got grown, that was gonna affect you.
Right.
And I knew that if I didn't raise you upright, you probably would come back to blame me.
Okay.
For your upbringing and for your father not being there and having someone else take his place. Mm-hmm. But I didn't call myself doing that because no one can take the place of your father.
Right.
You got a good dad.
Uh-huh.
He was one of the best.
Okay.
So I try to give you all the love I had to give.
Uh-huh. So as you was reading this, do it felt like you needed to give me an apology because you didn't extend enough love, or there was an apology, but I want you to elaborate more about that because that's the reason why we're here today.
I apologize because I did not know that man was so mean, and I should never put you in that position to have to even apologize to you for that because I should have known he was mean to me.
Uh-huh.
But so I thought, well,
I wasn't the only one in an abusive household.
No, I wasn't abusive. I mean, he was mean.
Right.
He was mean, but he came from a mean background.
And it was something you said that happened to you when you read the book, as far as your memory goes. So what's going on with your memory or your cognitive ability right now?
I think it's good because it brought back. When I read the book, I was like I was walking hand to hand through the book with you.
Okay.
It brought back so many memories.
But you said that you had some condition that have affected your memories, that a lot of stuff that you didn't remember, even outside of what I wrote in the pages, brought some things back to you. Is that correct?
Correct. Because I did not know that the young man who killed your father, he never met his father. He never met his father.
Right.
I didn't know that until I read the book. Mm-hmm. He had never met his father. So
he never met his son also.
Where's his son? He never met his son. And so I said, and when I read that, I was like, wow. That man took 2 lives.
Right.
He took Ricky's life and he took his own life.
Yeah.
Because his son you never met your father, and then that young man, he never met his father.
So as I was coming up, you were a great mother because you were the sole breadwinner and sole provider, like so many single mothers are. You were not a single mother. You were married, living in a 2-adult household, but you were doing a lot of what single mothers have to go through and do today. So what advice would you give from your experiences looking back of things that came to you? What advice would you give a mother who's in this type of situation where she need to get away from the person that she's with that may be causing trauma and abuse, or those who are not in that type of household who just raises some kids on their own? What kind of advice would you give them?
For one, know your mate before you. I knew him for 6 months. Mm-hmm. Know your mate. Know who you're marrying. Know what you're getting. Just don't take somebody off the street because you want to be married. Because you want to be married. Because you want a husband. Mm-hmm. You don't just settle for settle for less. Go for the gusto. Go for the big things. Go for somebody. If you work at a job every day, get somebody that's doing the same thing you do. Because I married, we were unequally yoked. Because I worked 12 hours a day, 7 days a week, if I could, and he probably wouldn't even work a day. Because I wanted my family to have something, so I had to go to work. I worked at Denso, and if anybody know anything about Denso, they will work you like a slave if you let them.
And how long was you there?
I was there 25 years.
And did you work like a slave while you was there?
Yes, I did.
Okay. So you let them work you
Yes,
like a slave.
I did. Yes, I did. But I chose to work like a slave because I like that. I like the money.
Mm-hmm.
And I with certain things, certain lifestyle I want to give my kids, and certain things I want in my home. I want my own home, you know. And nobody ever gave me nothing. Everything I ever got, I had to work hard for. So I thank God that He gave me the strength and the ability to have a mind to work.
Mm-hmm.
And so I did. I worked hard for my money.
So what was the biggest thing that you would say you got? Can you show the people that the book that's next to you? And what would you say was the key takeaway that you kind of got from reading this book about your son? Um,
Like I said earlier, my son is a genius. I never would have thought all the stuff he was going through. I thought of how deep what a deep thinker he was. He was always thinking ahead of everything. And like
from what age?
from I want to say from birth. I'll say from birth, but from birth, really, because when I was potty training him, what he would do when he was being potty trained was watch the People's Court. He would watch that for a whole hour every day. And People's Court, who would be interested in that at a tender age of 4 or 5? He was like 4 or 5.
I wasn't potty trained until I was 4 or 5.
No,
Is that what you telling the people here?
no, you was probably about 2 or 3.
Okay.
And you was watching.
I wasn't potty trained at 2 years old.
I'm telling you how was it? You got potty. You was getting potty trained.
Okay.
And you knew what you was doing.
So I had to be younger then.
Yeah, you had to be like maybe, I'd say 1.5, maybe 2.
I remember People's Court. I remember Garfield, and we wasn't at Garfield long after I was born, was we? Was we there a whole year?
Maybe.
But I remember being in the living room. It was dark and kind of. Was it dark in there?
Yeah.
Wood floor.
Right.
Wood posts like it's in my house right now.
Right.
Wood.
All wood everywhere.
And there's a floor model TV. Is that right?
Right.
I remember that. I do remember watching People's Court.
We used to watch People's Court every single day, and we got to put you on a pot every single day at the same time.
Uh-huh.
You sit there for like maybe an hour, and you would go to the use the bathroom. And then when you got done with your business, I will give you a bath and put you to bed.
Okay. So every day I watch People's Court, so maybe that's why I'm such a debater, they say, and confrontational and want to argumentative because I watched the People's Court as a child.
You sure did.
Okay.
You watched it. We watched it faithfully every day.
So before we wrap it up, I want to highlight a couple of the traumatic experiences and just get your feedback on that. Okay.
Okay.
So it was traumatizing, I would imagine, for me as a child, for you to say that you almost had an abortion. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
So when we say almost, does that mean like you thought about it? Does that mean like you talked to somebody about it? Does that mean like you went and got some brochures and, you know, how close were you to not having me?
I was in the abortion clinic.
In the clinic?
Yeah, I was in the clinic. And I had put on the gown. And so the lady told me, she said, I said, well, you know, I changed my mind. I want my baby. Because I heard something just said, no, he gonna be special. This is your baby. So then what happened was they gave me an ultrasound, and I started seeing the baby moving on the TV.
The baby or me?
Or you,
okay.
moving on the TV screen doing an ultrasound. And so I started crying and said, oh no, I want my baby, I want my baby. And then the nurse was in there. She said, well, are you sure? I said, yeah. So what they did was everything that I told them, the reason why I gave them for having the abortion, they turned around and used it against me.
Uh-huh.
And started telling me that all the things I had told them why I wanted the abortion. So then I said, no, I want my baby. And so she said, well, so I said, well, can I get my money back? And she said, no, I couldn't get my money back. So they told me to come back in I think 4 or 5 days and try to and then maybe I get my money back. So I said, well, I want my money back. So I asked for my clothes. So she told me, she said, well, your clothes are in there, and I'm gonna tell you now, good luck, because you're really gonna need it. So that really kind of ticked me off. Why am I gonna need good luck? Why am I gonna need luck at all? Period. Because I got my baby now. That's all I needed was my baby. So that's what they were trying to convince me not to have you. And I don't know what was they. I guess their quota. or trying to make their quota or trying to make some so X amount. I think it was all about the money.
Right.
And so I called you. I told your dad. 'Cause your dad dropped me off. He was totally against it. He was totally against it. So he dropped me off, and he came back to get me when I was ready to come back and get me. So he came back, I think about half an hour, 45 minutes to get me. And when I got in the car, I said, "Well, I didn't do it." He said, "Huh? What?" I said, I didn't do it." He was so excited that I didn't do it, that I still pregnant with you. So then we got in the car. I was on my way home, and he was very excited. And I never forget, because he was the best dad. I mean, I had to leave you at home with him. When I would go out at nighttime to hang out with my friends and everything, I would keep y'all be in the bed, sleep. And I would leave, go out in the streets, whatever. And he would take care of you. When I got home, y'all be in the bed, sleep every night. He put you to bed at a certain time, and he slept with you every night. And he would bathe you, and he said, "This is my boy, this is my boy." He said, "Everywhere I go, he going with me." And you guys' birthday are a day apart. He always said that when you got grown, y'all gonna have y'all birthday party was gonna be together. And so, because you was like you were born the 18th. He was born December 18th. You were born December 19th, a day after him. And he was so excited about that, because that was one thing that brought y'all had in common, the birthday.
And we never got a chance to enjoy one.
You never got a chance to. He enjoyed you. He would just laugh and play with you, and you would just laugh, and y'all would just have your own little world. Y'all was your own little world. Him and Shiny Dukes.
Okay.
He called you Shiny Dukes.
Okay, so then that was one traumatic experience. Then I lied earlier. I lied when I said that I was never with you for a brief period of time after my father died. So after I was 6 months, there was a brief period of time that I wasn't with you, right?
Well, you would know, because you were at my mother's house.
Yeah, but I'm saying I wasn't actually with you.
Right. You stayed at my mom's house while I was doing what I was doing, whatever I was doing.
Right. Okay, but that was only a short period of time. Maybe
right.
A year or two, 18 months maybe?
Maybe something like that.
But you were still living at your mom's house also.
Right.
Part of the time.
Right.
And I remember has been a victim of gun violence. What do you think?
Because I don't know, it could take a toll on you. Because it took a toll on me. And me having to take care of you, and I was carrying the hurt and the pain I was carrying, I know it had to affect you. Because I was carrying so much hate, so much pain. And hatred was in my heart. Because I was go out and people would say, "I'm so sorry." And I said, "What you sorry about? Did you do it?" I would get so mad when they would tell me they were sorry. They would want to give me their condolences. And I would say, "Why? Did you do it?" And I hated people, because people always was feeling sorry for me. Why are you feeling sorry for me? Because, I haven't done nothing. And, what happened to him, happened to him. And it was very traumatic for me, because I think about the day when I left home. I left home that day, and I was going to Grand Rapids, me and some girlfriends. And I remember him coming back home. He had left to go out. He said, "I'm gonna go with my friend. I'll be back." I said, "Your friend?" He said, "Yeah, I'm going with my friend." Because everybody was his so-called friend. "I'm going with my friend, and I'll be back." So I said, I said, okay. So that night, I went on to Grand Rapids. And on the way home, I don't know, had a vision or something. But anyway, I was in the bed asleep. And I remember getting up and heard somebody downstairs at my door. So I got up and I went downstairs, opened the door in my dream, and he was standing there. He was soaking wet. His hair, he had a perm. His hair was slicked to his face, slicked to his head. And so then I ran upstairs. And so I said, when I looked outside, I didn't see his car. So I said, "Ricky," I said, "Where your car at?" He said, "Oh, my car's fine. I'm fine. So I'm going to let you know, whatever you do, don't become a dope fiend." He said, "I'm going to let you know I'm okay. I'm all right." I said, "Where's all your jewelry at?" He had a lot of jewelry. I said, "Where's all your jewelry at?" He said, "My jewelry's in the glove compartment." I said, "Where your car at?" "On the side." He said, "My car's on the side of the road." So I said, okay. So I came upstairs, and then I went back to sleep. And then I woke up again. The next time I woke up, somebody was knocking at my door for real. Went downstairs. It was the police. Come and let me know he had been found murdered. He was found murdered on the side of the highway. And he said his car was on the side of the highway. And that is all just all tied into me. It all came together. So I said, wow, what's all that got to do with each other? And then when he was in it was a thunderstorm outside that night, and that's why his hair was stuck to his on his like soaking wet. He was soaking wet, and he had in my dream he had on a raincoat. So I was still trying to understand. I couldn't understand this dream because God would always show me stuff, but he would always break it down to me later on. And then I understood that later on as I understood it more. It was that when he was in that raincoat, that was the body bag, and all that his hair being slicked to his face. He had been in a storm. And then earlier that night I had dreamed he was on a post school, and I was running it was raining. I was running. I had a baby in my arms. I kept on screaming. They trying to kill my baby. They trying to kill my baby. And all I could see was bullets shooting in the air. And I seen all the fire from the bullets coming out the gun. And I said, they're trying to kill my baby. They're trying to kill my baby. And I just that still didn't come to me till later on that was what was happening. Because they said when he got killed she got killed on Cherry Street. When he got killed, the neighbors said all I could see was the fire from the bullets.
And it sounds like if it didn't happen that way, we could have been a target if the person couldn't accomplish their mission to kill him. When they did kill him by himself, possibly our family could have been at risk
Right.
in the future if it hadn't happened then.
Right.
So there was another traumatic experience that I remember, and you spoke about it earlier, but it was living in an apartment building, and you actually physically having to do tug of war over my little sister in an abusive situation, and me having to run to you remember that?
Mm-mm.
Having to run to the police station and push the buzzer to get police help from you getting abused. Remember that? I remember one. Go ahead.
Over in the apartments?
In apartments.
On Avenue A.
Avenue A. You remember that happened?
Right.
Then I remember the time when my brother, your oldest son, playing around on the school bus and stabbed somebody on accident with a box cutter. Remember that happened?
Mm-hmm.
He came out there, I kind of took him out where we was living at to kind of get him away from the neighborhood just in case something happened. And he left to go see him, but I remember that being the case of him being in trouble from doing that, knowing that he could be in police trouble, him getting suspended or expelled from the school and taking me to school at Valley View, and him not being able to be on public school property. So I really want to have this interview raise awareness around trauma, around people understanding that trauma can be seeing an incarcerated loved one, or a sibling being killed, a parent being killed, being molested, sexually assaulted, abuse, neglect, abandonment, verbal abuse, emotional abuse. There's so many different ways that we don't know the impact that our actions play on people's lives, but it's important for us adults, like you said, to find a way to know better so that we can do better. It's really, really, really extremely important. So that was just some of the traumatic experiences I had, not including my grandmother dying when I was 13 years old, brother being convicted, your only son, I mean, not your only son, but your oldest son, I'm your son as well, but your son being convicted of life without parole, of murder and sentenced to life without parole, and me having to grow up my teenage years and adult years without my brother in free society. Going to the prisons as a teenager, going through visiting, getting frisked down, all those things play an impact on our psyche and our consciousness. So I think it's very important. I'm glad that we had this conversation. I'm glad that you was able to read the book and really pull some things out of it. And again, like you said, parents, when we know better, we do better. So all we can do is use this as an example. But was there any more questions? Anything else that came out of the book? Was that pretty much kind of the gist of it?
That's pretty much the gist of it. And I I just I just didn't know how I was gonna feel afterwards, because there's so much was brought up, so much. And I didn't realize how abused I had been, because I was abused also in all of this.
Right.
Because like he would slap me around if I come home and say, "Oh, you don't want you oh you ain't gonna talk today," and I said, or "Oh, you gonna talk today? You gonna talk today? You gonna talk today?" So if I talked, I got in trouble. If I didn't talk, I got in trouble. But I just thank God that He let me escape all of that. I never forget. You might remember it when we all supposed to be in school. Now when we still stole the car.
I remember that. You didn't steal the car. You just told him you told him you locked your keys in the house.
And
you went and got his keys from work, or you had to go get the car from work.
Right, go get the car from work. And then we had moved out the whole apartment. We were living in apartment.
It's Arbor Point now.
Arbor Point.
Stratford Park back then.
And we moved out. Got Tyrone out of school. Got Tawana out of school. Got all my kids together. And we moved out the house. When he came home from work, it wasn't nothing in the house. We had took everything and was gone. But everything belonged to me, so it wasn't no big deal because everything was mine. I had paid for everything.
Right.
So.
And I agree with that. I also remember the time when I was getting teased because y'all was fighting when it was in the book, and you said you forgot about that. My head start graduation.
Oh
this
yeah.
This is important. So let me speak on this. This is important because academic success is important for anybody, but especially in the black community, right? So for me to have my very first head school pre-start graduation, and I'm going to get celebrated. Everybody came to my graduation out there in Lamar Park. We was living in Stratford Park, and we went to Little Caesars right there in the plaza by where Family Fair is at. Remember that?
Yeah.
Right there where the boot store is at right now.
Yeah.
I talked about it in the book. And we went to get my pizza, and you walk up there and you should say, "Pizza, pizza."
And they give you
a toy.
Yeah.
So we always loved going to Little Caesars. Little Caesars still going strong today. They ain't fell off yet. But we went in there, got the pizza, and then I think it was an argument because I got my own pizza or you bought me my individual. It was always a thing, a little bit of jealousy. That's why they say, wait till you get married to have children, because then the parents was together. Like my daughter, I could always run this on her, is that we was here before you. So you don't come first in my household, although you were a child, because we was already first. You secondary. We in a relationship first, but if you have a child and you and that child is our relationship and you bring somebody else in, the child has seniority over the step parent. Does that make sense?
Right.
So.
And that's how it was.
That's how it was, and it wasn't maybe right as far as biblically
That's
goes.
What it was that he felt like I loved you more.
Right.
And I always told him, I'm supposed to love him more. He's my child. Period. I gave birth to him. I mean, you ain't here because of me.
Right.
You're here. My son is here because of me. So I owe no loyalty at all to you. I owe loyalty to my child.
Especially child who don't have a father.
Because I brought this child I chose to have him.
Right. When you almost didn't have him.
And when I got ready to try to get rid of him, I still said, I like twice. Oh no. I had him when I had him, and then I had him again when I tried to abort him. I like, no. I want my child. So I knew that was something that was a God thing. That was a God thing. I heard it in my spirit. Don't take this baby out of here. Do not. This is God's child. It wasn't even my place to even even dwell on that very long. I didn't dwell on it very long. I just made my mind up and I just was done with it. And that was one thing that he had a problem with, is that because I loved you so. And I said, I don't care if it ain't but one piece of bread in this house. Sean's gonna get it. Because I owe that to him. I owe nothing to no grown man.
That's the truth. I forgot. That was so good. I forgot how I even got to that topic, but it was just some of the things again that I experienced, some of the things I went through, the way I am today. People may think I'm, don't know me very well, but maybe by reading my book, maybe by listening to my videos, maybe by working with me and encountering me and collaborating with me, people will be able to learn more about
Right.
my story, the
Right.
delicacies of my heart, the delicate nature of my heart, and what I've been through, the intricacies I was trying to say of my heart. Then that may make more
Understand you better.
understand me better.